You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for joining us this first Monday of November. I'm Ann Makovic, and here's a look at some of our news headlines this morning. Final push for Prop 50. California voters have one more day to decide whether to redraw state congressional maps to favor Democrats. Today, Governor Newsom and Speaker Emeritus Nancy Pelosi are hosting a Get Out the Vote phone bank in San Francisco. Democrats launched the effort to counter a move, of course, by Texas Republicans to add more GOP seats in Congress. A 9-year-old boy shot in Antioch and a 17-year-old suspect is in custody. Police found the child on Sunset Drive just after 4:30 yesterday afternoon. He is expected to survive. Investigators haven't released any information about what led up to the shooting or a possible motive. And today is the deadline for campers in Gilroy to vacate 2 large encampments on land owned by the Santa Clara Valley Water District. Valley Water says safety and health issues forced them to close both encampments where more than 50 people have lived for years. Community advocates say the change will only scatter them all over the city without shelter. Santa Clara County leaders say there's a waiting list for shelter beds. All right, let's get a check on our first alert forecast now. Taking a live look outside, this is a bit of a calm before the next storm. Rain, strong winds, and a chance of thunderstorms moving in as early as tomorrow night. National Weather Service also warning of dangerous surf along our coastline. Here's meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Plenty of sunshine, especially for our friends up near Santa Rosa. Let's zoom in all the way to the places like the Novato region, all the way over into Novato and Petaluma. We're seeing 60s and 70s today. Pretty similar for the rest of our inland spots, too. Over into the East Bay, the Santa Clara Valley, we're holding on tight to 50s along the coast. And I'm about to show you something that might look a little bit messy below me. It's actually the National Weather Service. They're issuing beach hazard statements along our coastal communities, coastal flood advisories in that orange and yellow color you see directly below me. And then on top of that, wind advisories that are going to remain in effect Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with some strong wind gusts right around the corner. Reason why this is all happening even in the first place, we have a storm system that's pushing in as early as Tuesday night. That's going to change the forecast significantly. We're going to see strong winds forecasted anywhere up to around 55 miles per hour as this cold front pushes in from the north. It's going to bring in a huge amount of clouds, rain, and thunderstorm activity too. About a 15 to 20% chance right now issued by the National Weather Service. But this happens in the early morning hours on Wednesday. This pushes in from the north to the south, bringing in anywhere up to around a half an inch of rain for our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley. Even more impressive rainfall totals for our friends all the way up into the North Bay. Notice how that starts to clear up as we head into Wednesday evening, though. So that's what we're keeping a close eye on. Now let's head all the way down to Monterey real quick. I want to show you some other things going on for us today and tomorrow. Our daytime highs are staying pretty mild down here. We're talking about 60s anywhere from Salinas over into Monterey, 60s up into Santa Cruz. I'm going to drop that map and show you the next 7 days because what we have on tap for us, it's a little taste of everything. We're talking about 60s all week long for our friends along the bay, but from today into our forecast Wednesday, it's going to look a lot different. Strong winds moving in late Tuesday night, rain rolling in Wednesday early morning, and then it starts to taper off into Wednesday afternoon, clearing us up nicely as we head into this weekend. Still with cloudy skies on tap, a little bit warmer weather as we head into Saturday right around the corner. Back to you.
Well, just one day until that special election for Prop 50, the last chance for supporters and opponents to try to drum up voter turnout. Prop 50 would allow lawmakers to redraw our congressional districts to add basically 5 more seats for Democrats in next year's elections. It is all meant to counteract similar tactics being used in Texas and several other states. Amanda Harry went door to door with people canvassing for both sides to find out why they think this election is so critical.
Have a great day, sir. Thank you so much. This one you as well. Hi.
With hours left until the 2025 statewide special election, canvassers are looking for opportunities at every door.
And it forces us to act. It forces us to go into this to save democracy.
Zach Bowling is a volunteer with Yes on Prop 50, supporting temporarily redrawing House district lines. He spent his Sunday trying to rally voters with the help of Alameda Mayor Marilyn Ezzy Ashcraft.
What are you guys selling?
We're selling democracy. Would you like to have some?
Bowling grew up in Texas. He believes Yes on 50 is needed to combat congressional redistricting that was passed by the governor there.
We're going back to the voters to let them decide to allow us to do Prop 50. They didn't do that in Texas. They just decided in a back room that we're going to redistrict in this way.
A poll by the Public Institute of California published Wednesday showed 56% of likely voters will vote in support of Prop 50. Despite that, Max Shaw and his cat Cashew have been out in the San Jose community nearly every day, knocking on doors and making phone calls.
The conservatives and moderates need a voice here.
He's spent hours trying to explain to people why he believes they should vote no.
We should all be against gerrymandering. I am personally. And this is why we have the Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission in California that we elected and voted for.
He feels voting yes will negatively impact smaller and rural communities, as well as many of the people who supported President Donald Trump in the 2024 election.
Almost 40% of Californians voted for Trump in 2024, yet we only have currently about 17% representation in the House of Representatives. And now if Prop 50 passes, they're going to gain up to 5 more seats, and that representation of our 40% is going to drop to 7%.
He knows the odds are against him, but he's proud of the work he's done with the help of more than a dozen other No on Prop 50 volunteers. People on both sides say they're fighting for what they think will do the most good.
It's out of our hands now. We did our best, but we'll just leave it into God's hands and walk by faith.
I'm fully invested because I can't let our country slide into what it can be if we don't win this.
And there is something else on the ballot in Santa Clara County. Voters there are deciding on Measure A that would raise the county's sales tax for 5 years. That money would go to offset projected losses from federal budget cuts, including cuts to health care. And you can tune in tomorrow night. We're going to bring you election results as they come in. Live coverage starting at 8 p.m. on our primetime edition. That is on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12. And you can also watch our live stream on the free CBS News app. Today is day 34 of the government shutdown. It is poised to become the longest in history this week. For now, the Senate has no new votes scheduled to try to end it. More than 40 million Americans have lost federal food assistance over the weekend. That includes tens of thousands here in California, leading to lines at food banks. 2 federal judges have ruled that the Trump administration must tap into contingency funds to pay for SNAP during the shutdown. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the aid could start flowing again as soon as Wednesday. Leaders in Contra Costa County stepping in, meantime, to help families that don't have time to wait. The county plans to hand out grocery debit cards to 107,000 CalFresh enrollees. Supervisor John Joya says it's possible because the county had been prudent in how it spends its money.
We have a AAA bond rating. We have over $500 million in reserves. If we can't use our emergency reserves for something like this, what should we be using it for?
It could cost up to $21 million from the county's reserves to fund the cards for 1 month if the shutdown lasts that long. The shutdown also leading to long lines at the airport here in the Bay Area and across the country. That is because staffing issues have led to some ground delays. Meantime, air traffic controllers have not gotten a paycheck in a month. And the FAA is reporting a surge in sick calls in response. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy says you can expect more delays in the coming days if the government does not reopen.
We want people to go safely. And so we will slow and stop traffic if we don't think we can manage it in a way that keeps people safe as they go from point A to point B.
Duffy also backtracked on his plan to potentially fire air traffic controllers who called in sick, saying they need support and money. Stay with us as we continue to monitor the impacts of the shutdown. We're going to bring you the latest on air on our website and streaming on the free CBS News app. Still ahead, the city of Oakland says crime is down, but some merchants say the numbers don't tell the whole story while they're turning to each other to make ends meet.
It hurts me that every month businesses are closing down.
Plus, Christian McCaffrey leads the offense as the Niners top the Giants. How his backup also had a moment to shine.
Well, we're starting off this week nice and calm, but some big changes are in store for us right around the corner as we head into late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. We're gearing up for some thunderstorms pushing in from the North Bay. To add to that, that will continue to track its way down south, bringing in anywhere up to around a half an inch of rain for our friends down in the Santa Clara Valley, closer to around 1.5 inches to 2 inches for our friends up into the North Bay. Now, we're also gearing up for some strong winds, too. From Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we could see gusts anywhere up to around 55 miles per hour. Now is the time to start preparing for that.
In Oakland, city leaders have been touting progress in their crackdown on crime, but merchants in the Fruitvale neighborhood say the numbers don't tell the whole story and that they need more help. According to the latest data from the city, overall crime is down by almost 30% compared to this time last year. Violent crime is down 25%. But some small businesses say concern over crime continues to drive customers away. And as Veronica Macias shows us, they're now banding together to help save each other's businesses.
And while they're asking for change, one merchant telling me things were so bad she had to leave the Fruitvale. She grew up in a family-owned restaurant in Mexico, and all she wanted was to show people here in the States how Mexican food was more than just tacos. She's now doing great, taking her business to another part of the East Bay, living out her dream, but she's afraid others won't be so lucky and they shouldn't have to leave the Fruitvale. After decades in Oakland's Fruitvale neighborhood, Leticia Chavez picked up and moved across town to the Lakeshore neighborhood. She doesn't take that move or her customers for granted.
I open my eyes and I say, how can a customer feel so confident to lend his own money that, that they also work hard for that money?
Chavez used crowdfunding from those same loyal customers along with friends and family to pay for the move. After months of dipping into savings, she hasn't forgotten those she left behind in the Fruitvale district. Merchants who continue facing the same troubles, which caused her to close up and leave.
It hurts me that every month businesses are closing down. Members from the organization, they had to close down because, again, there is no sales. How are they going to pay the rent?
I came with agreement with them.
Business owners like Eric Olivares. He's 2 months behind on rent. He now leads the association Leticia once spearheaded, CCF, Comerciantes Comunidad de Fruitvale. Olivares claims rampant crime is driving business away.
We're struggling a lot, and unfortunately we're not making no profit here. Last year we have 4 break-ins into the restaurant. I mean, the first time that they broke in, we had a safe here. They took quite a bit of value, I would say over $25,000.
And it's not just break-ins. Members of the association say they're crying out for help at all levels, calling on city leaders and OPD to step in.
And we're talking about shootings, assaults, robberies, intimidation, drug dealing, the whole gamut.
The city has reported a 41% drop in robberies year over year and a decrease of 18% in aggravated assaults during the first half of this year. Still, merchants say the richness of the Latino culture they remember along the Fruitvale shopping district has vanished.
We try not to expose the bad thing that was happening in Fruitvale because we were scared to scare people away. But it was at a certain point that we need to scream for help.
Desperate merchants now are pushing back, working to get community policing at a street level and channeling their anger to fight for change.
And I know that we're gonna make things better because I can see the people working so hard around me.
While Leticia has moved out of the Fruitvale, she hasn't abandoned the effort to bring back the Fruitvale she remembers.
It's really sad and hurts because it was such a beautiful community.
One that was welcoming to families and vibrant with culture. Merchants do say there is a disconnect between those numbers and reality. They say many in the immigrant community have trouble reporting the crimes online or simply are afraid to. Meanwhile, OPD says they're urging everyone in Oakland to report the crime regardless of its severity. Ann.
Well, according to listing site Commercial Cafe, office vacancy rates in Oakland were around 32% last year. Today, the city of San Francisco is once again discussing the fate of the crumbling Viancourt fountain. Officials say that fountain along the Embarcadero poses a safety risk, and they want to renovate the area. The Rec and Parks Department is considering removing the fountain, at least temporarily. They say it would cost about $29 million to renovate it, but less than $3 million to remove it. Now, while some say it's ugly and should go anyway, the artists and preservationists are fighting to keep the fountain in place. We are counting down the days to Super Bowl 60 at Levi Stadium, coming up in just a few months. Today, the NFL and the Bay Area Host Committee announcing the official venues for the big game. They'll be making the announcement from NFL headquarters in New York. The Super Bowl is set for February 8th. The 49ers have improved to 6-3 on the season after their win over the Giants yesterday. Final score 34-24. And they did it with Brock Purdy still on the sidelines because of an injury. Matt Lively has the recap from MetLife Stadium.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
The 49ers scored 34 points and they took down the New York Giants on the road. It was a performance as good as a slice of gabagool from these parts of Jersey as the Niners improved to 6-3.
I gave them their first victory Monday of the year, so I know they were excited about that.
The offense stole the show. After scoring just 15 points in Houston, they exploded.
What do we have today, 34? Love it, love 34 points.
Led by Christian McCaffrey, who found the end zone twice. Christian has another one of those games. He catches one, he runs one in. What's it been like to play with him?
Oh, he's the man. He just does everything right. And on that last pass to seal the game, like that wasn't really the look we were looking at. And he just turned and I threw it to him and he caught it and ran for like 50 yards. So that's Christian McCaffrey in a bottle, and he's the man. So I'm really happy I can play with him.
McCaffrey's backup, Brian Robinson Jr., has been waiting for his opportunity this season, and it came in the fourth when he found the end zone.
It was beautiful. It was a relief. You know, I've been waiting to finally get in the box, and it felt good to finally get across that line today.
Christian don't leave a lot of crumbs on the table, so he understands his role, and him just always being ready to go. Never gives the defense a chance to relax.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
But injuries continue to haunt the Niners. Defensive lineman Michael Williams went down late in the fourth quarter. Head coach Kyle Shanahan thinks the first-round draft pick may have torn his ACL. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area, we are going to meet the local doctors working with patients on alternatives to the standard treatment for breast cancer.
Do I need surgery? Am I going to lose my breasts?
Everything that we do that's good and better has been done because we've done it as a trial and tried something new.
How they hope their research will dramatically improve quality of life for many patients in the future.
We have a storm system that's pushing in as early as Tuesday night that's going to change the forecast significantly. We're going to see strong winds forecasted anywhere up to around 55 miles per hour as this cold front pushes in from the north. It's going to bring in a huge amount of clouds, rain, and thunderstorm activity too. About a 15 to 20% chance right now issued by the National Weather Service. But this happens in the early morning hours on Wednesday. This pushes in from the north to the south, bringing in anywhere up to around a half an inch of rain for our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley. Even more impressive rainfall totals for our friends all the way up into the North Bay. Notice how that starts to clear up as we head into Wednesday evening, though. So that's what we're keeping a close eye on. Now let's head all the way down to Monterey real quick. I want to show you some other things going on for us today and tomorrow. Our daytime highs are staying pretty mild down here. We're talking about 60s anywhere from Salinas over into Monterey, 60s up into Santa Cruz. I'm going to drop that map and show you the next 7 days because what we have on tap for us, it's a little taste of everything. We're talking about 60s all week long for our friends along the bay, but from today into our forecast Wednesday, it's going to look a lot different. Strong winds moving in late Tuesday night, rain rolling in Wednesday early morning, and then it starts to taper off into Wednesday afternoon, clearing us up nicely as we head into this weekend. Still with cloudy skies on tap, a little bit warmer weather as we head into Saturday right around the corner. Back to you.
Bay Area researchers working on a way to attack breast cancer with fewer drawbacks than the typical treatment. When most patients get the diagnosis, they want to know how quickly they can get the disease out of their bodies. But a new approach at UCSF could change everything. Elizabeth Cook spoke to doctors and a patient about how it could save women from debilitating treatments.
10 years ago, Judy Lee, then a 45-year-old busy mom of 2 young children, got the call that stopped her in her tracks. She had breast cancer.
Do I need surgery? Am I going to lose my breasts? Will I be okay? Will I be here to see my kids graduate from school, from elementary?
Judy's cancer is known as DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ, a non-invasive form of breast cancer that develops in the milk ducts of the breast. It's often called early stage or stage 0 breast cancer. According to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, 20 to 25% of breast cancers are considered DCIS. Even though it's highly curable, the traditional standard of treatment can be intense.
About 90% at the time of women had mastectomy or hysterectomy. So they had treatment, they had surgery. And so those were the statistics I was looking at, and they were, pretty scary.
Judy was open to a new approach. She found Dr. Laura Esserman at UCSF, a pioneer in breast cancer research. She had been doing active surveillance to avoid surgery on DCIS patients for over 15 years.
It is no picnic to get a mastectomy, and it's certainly no picnic to have a bilateral mastectomy. And if you don't really need it, that's the way we always used to do it. And if you don't know any better, but what if you don't need it?
Dr. Esserman, along with UCSF radiologist Dr. Heather Greenwood, launched the RECAST trial in February of 2024, the study they call watchful waiting instead of traditional treatment.
DCIS by itself is not life-threatening. It's a window of opportunity to figure out how to prevent you getting invasive cancer. And everyone has the opportunity to find out how they respond. And at 6 months, they can make a decision about what they want to do based on what their response to therapy is.
We can find it so early that it doesn't yet have the capability to go to other places in the body. And what part of this trial is figuring out how do we best treat that? Do we prevent it with hormone therapy? And which ones do we need to take out surgically?
Every 6 months, Judy is screened for any change in her cancer with a specific MRI scan, tests, and medication. There were moments when she wondered if she made the right decision not to go under the knife.
I remember thinking that, gosh, this is not for the faint of heart every 6 months. And I can now appreciate the current standard, if you will, of just basically getting it cut out, because that's 100% at that moment. That certainty.
10 years after her diagnosis, Judy has avoided any major surgery. She is still closely watched by Dr. Esserman and her team twice a year.
Clinical trials are tomorrow's treatments today. Not everything that you think is going to work will work. That's why you have to test it. But everything that we do that's good and better has been done because we've done it as a trial and tried something new.
1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, and it's the second leading cause of cancer deaths. Dr. Esserman and her team at UCSF hope studying this disease at the earliest stages will lead to better outcomes for women with all stages of breast cancer. The future of breast cancer treatment may mean less is more.
So the RECAST study is expected to run through 2033. There are more than a dozen RECAST clinical trial locations across the country. To learn more, head to our website, kpix.com. Coming up in our next half hour, here on CBS News Bay Area, health insurance costs are skyrocketing, and many could soon lose coverage.
Been getting tighter and tighter as the years go on.
The factors behind this spike and how some small business owners are already dealing with the impact.
Your community, your news, powered by KPIX. CBS News Bay Area. Watch anywhere, anytime. Stay informed and connected. Trusted local news when you want it. CBS News Bay Area. Watch free on any device. You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for being with us this Monday. I'm Ann Magovic, and here's another look at some of our news headlines. The final push for Prop 50. California voters have just one more day to decide whether to redraw state congressional maps to favor Democrats. Today, Governor Newsom and Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi are hosting a Get Out the Vote phone bank in San Francisco. Democrats launched the effort to counter a move by Texas Republicans to add more GOP seats in Congress. A 9-year-old boy shot in Antioch and a 17-year-old suspect is in custody. Police found the child on Sunset Drive just after 4:30 yesterday afternoon. They say he is expected to survive. Investigators have not released any information about what led up to the shooting nor a possible motive. And today is the deadline for campers in Gilroy to vacate 2 large encampments on land owned by the Santa Clara Valley Water District. They say that health and safety issues forced the closure of these encampments where more than 50 people have lived for years. Community advocates say the change will only scatter people all over the city. Santa Clara County leaders say there is a waiting list for shelter beds. All right, let's get another check on our first alert forecast because we do have some rain on the way this week. Here's meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Plenty of sunshine, especially for our friends up near Santa Rosa. Let's zoom in all the way to the places like the Novato region, all the way over into Novato and Petaluma. We're seeing 60s and 70s today. Pretty similar for the rest of our inland spots, too. Over into the East Bay, the Santa Clara Valley, we're holding on tight to 50s along the coast. And I'm about to show you something that might look a little bit messy below me. It's actually the National Weather Service. They're issuing beach hazard statements along our coastal communities, coastal flood advisories in that orange and yellow color you see directly below me. And then on top of that, wind advisories that are going to remain in effect Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with some strong wind gusts right around the corner. Reason why this is all happening even in the first place, we have a storm system that's pushing in as early as Tuesday night that's going to change the forecast significantly. We're going to see strong winds forecasted anywhere up to around 55 miles per hour as this cold front pushes in from the north. It's going to bring in a huge amount of clouds, rain, and thunderstorm activity too, about a 15 to 20% chance right now issued by the National Weather Service. But this happens in the early morning hours on Wednesday. This pushes in from the north to the south, bringing in anywhere up to around a half an inch of rain for our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley. Even more impressive rainfall totals for our friends all the way up into the North Bay. Notice how that starts to clear up as we head into Wednesday evening, though. So that's what we're keeping a close eye on. Now let's head all the way down to Monterey real quick. I want to show you some other things going on for us today and tomorrow. Our daytime highs are staying pretty mild down here. We're talking about 60s anywhere from Salinas over into Monterey, 60s up into Santa Cruz. I'm going to drop that map and show you the next 7 days because what we have on tap for us, it's a little taste of everything. We're talking about 60s all week long for our friends along the bay, but from today into our forecast Wednesday, it's going to look a lot different. Strong winds moving in late Tuesday night, rain rolling in Wednesday early morning, and then it starts to taper off into Wednesday afternoon, clearing us up nicely as we head into this weekend. Still with cloudy skies on tap, a little bit warmer weather as we head into Saturday right around the corner. Back to you.
Open enrollment for healthcare plans under the Affordable Care Act is underway, and premium prices are expected to go way up. The group KFF has released new data predicting if Congress lets enhanced premium tax credits expire at the end of this year, people using the Affordable Care Act could see their costs go up by about 114%. Our Suji Nam talked with a local business owner in Napa who is under the covered California insurance plan. He says he is expecting to pay more, and he's already making changes to keep his costs down.
2020, you can see I was paying $684.24 per month, $8,200 a year approximately. In 2024, now I'm on $10,500.
David Dreiling is sifting through his tax forms, showing the bills he's paid each month for his health insurance.
This year, 2025, I lowered my plan because the monthly premiums were getting so high.
He's paying $755 a month now, which comes with a higher deductible, a decision that he was reminded of from a recent trip to the ER.
I had 3 stitches put into my finger. So the 3 stitches cost me $1,600. I shouldn't have done it. Should have just done it from home.
Under the same plan, Dreiling says he'll be paying more for his health care next year.
For 2026, which I've already enrolled for.
About $80 more monthly. Dreiling's reality is the reality for millions of Americans in the coming months. Matt McGuff, a policy analyst with KFF, a nonprofit health policy organization, says there are many reasons as to why consumers will see this spike next year.
Driven by providers asking to be paid more by insurers, the increase in high-cost drugs such as Ozempic.
He adds that he expects a large portion of the 24 million enrollees under the Affordable Care Act coverage to drop off.
See if there's a plan that works for you that is lower cost. Think about dropping down to a bronze metal tier plan, which has a lower monthly premium. But, conversely, you also have a much higher deductible that you'll have to meet in some cases.
Thank you for calling Farmers.
Which is what business owners like Dreiling had to do to afford the care he needs for his health conditions.
Been getting tighter and tighter as the years go on.
As a farmer's insurance agent in Napa, Dreiling is trying to look at the bright side of things.
It could be worse. It's getting worse, but that's how you kind of go day to day.
Putting his health first, no matter the cost.
Well, health insurance costs are now tied to the fight over the government shutdown. Democrats say they won't vote to reopen the government until there is a deal to extend Obamacare subsidies. About 22 million Americans use them to help pay for insurance. The government shutdown also hitting children with the most needs. Funding cuts have shut down a free preschool Head Start program in Santa Cruz. Encompass Community Services has shut down all 11 of its Head Start centers because no one was available to process its grant renewal on November 1st, rather. And a group of Head Start program leaders and advocates in San Mateo County are warning that some local child care centers might have to close classrooms next year. While some national parks were forced to limit services due to the shutdown, Muir Woods has reopened thanks to some local generosity. $84,000 has been raised to reopen the park through November 11th. Limited time only. One local guide launched a fundraiser and called on tech companies to help, stressing how important the park is to Marin's tourism economy.
Our money is too small. Every dollar counts, of course, and that money we of course will give the totality to the national park so we can keep the park longer. Less people are coming in San Francisco. That means less people book a room, go to the restaurant.
Organizers say if the government reopens before the 11th, any money raised will be returned to the donors. In an interview on 60 Minutes, President Trump insisted Democrats need to reopen the government before addressing rising health care costs. This marked the president's first appearance on the program since settling a lawsuit with CBS parent company Paramount. He fielded questions on topics from tariffs to immigration to the government shutdown. A new CBS News poll shows more than half of Americans are, quote, very worried about how the shutdown will affect the economy in the long run. CBS News senior correspondent Nora O'Donnell sat down with the president at Mar-a-Lago for the exclusive interview.
We can make it much less expensive for people and give them much better health care.
But where is
and
that
I'd
plan?
be willing to
But
work
where's
with the
that plan?
Democrats on it. The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers, to all these millions of people that were allowed to come in with an open border from Biden. And nobody can do that. Not one Republican would ever do that.
My understanding is if those health care subsidies are not extended, premiums will double for many of the people that are on it. And I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their health care premiums double. Live in states where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm saying we can fix it, Nora.
You have helped end these government shutdowns in the past when they came about, and you did it by bringing.
I'm very good at it,
You
but I'm
brought
not going
members
to
of
do it
Congress
by. I'm not going to do it by
White House.
extortion. I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way. There's something wrong with these people.
So then what happens on November
is a
15th when the
basket
troops
case.
don't get a paycheck?
Schumer is a basket case, and he has nothing to lose. He's become, I just left Japan, he's become a kamikaze pilot.
Sounds like it's not going to get solved, the shutdown.
It's going to get solved, yeah. Oh, it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
You're saying the Democrats will capitulate?
I think they have to. And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to agree with something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear, by the way. It's called ending the filibuster.
Meantime, the Supreme Court is set to take up President Trump's tariffs this week. The justices will consider whether the president had the legal authority to impose them. The arguments are set to begin Wednesday. Coming up next here on CBS News Bay Area, trees can do a lot for a neighborhood. So why is this Bay Area city cutting them down? The fight to add more green space to the sidewalks of San Francisco.
Start your day with us and open your world.
Time to open up those windows and get this day started.
The power of CBS News.
It is a historic day in news.
Taking you around the globe, across the country.
With Federal, live, and
into your community.
To the South Bay, major changes.
And Bay Area weather from a whole new perspective.
Let's head underneath this cloud layer.
CBS News Bay Area's Morning Edition. Weekdays at 6 on KPIX.
Well, we're starting off this week nice and calm, but some big changes are in store for us right around the corner as we head into late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. We're gearing up for some thunderstorms pushing in from the North Bay. To add to that, that will continue to track its way down south, bringing in anywhere up to around a half an inch of rain for our friends down in the Santa Clara Valley, closer to around 1.5 inches to 2 inches for our friends up into the North Bay. Now, we're also gearing up for some strong winds, too. From Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we can see gusts anywhere up to around 55 miles per hour. Now is the time to start preparing for that.
Well, there is a battle over green space in one neighborhood in San Francisco, and Lauren Doms tells us about the fight to plant more trees.
In San Francisco's Soma neighborhood, patches of concrete cover spots where trees once stood. Empty wells sit like scars on the block.
The street used to have 20 trees, and we're down to 10.
For neighbor Sean Auckland, an empty well outside his house is a symbol of neglect. He says a 2018 city policy requiring 90 inches of sidewalk width to plant a tree is stalling progress. In Soma, most measure 87 inches.
There is sufficient ADA access, so we've measured and we know that wheelchairs can pass. We would never compromise on that. But unfortunately, the result is in some cases we have these empty wells that become blighted sites of our deteriorating neighborhood. And in other cases, the city's actually filling them with concrete.
Neighbors say the consequences go beyond appearance. UCSF Dr. Ariane Tarani highlights a link between low tree canopy to higher pollution and higher asthma rate.
When there's neighborhoods that have greater street tree density, children in those neighborhoods have lower asthma. And then, of course, there's reduced asthma hospitalization. So when you're also looking at tree canopy, more tree density means less asthma for hospitalization.
According to Breathe California, the Bayview, the Tenderloin, and right here in Soma all have some of the highest rates of asthma in the city. And city data shows those same neighborhoods have the lowest tree canopy, less than 3% compared to a city average of 13% and a high in McLaren Park of 40%. Sean claims the city has misdirected a $12 million grant meant to increase tree canopy in the areas that need it the most. But the Department of Public Works disputes that. Just a few blocks away at the city's street tree nursery, David Moore says the city must get grant funding for more trees that are later planted in areas that need it most. But they face hurdles, not only for funding, but also for space and sustainability.
Not only do they need room to grow into, but they also need to be able to suck up moisture like straws, especially if there's 6 months or so of no rain in the middle of the summer. So you might end up kind of wasting resources if you're not very carefully considering the tree planting location and its size.
Moore says city standards, a 4-foot clearance path for wheelchairs plus enough room for roots, are based on decades of research. And when communities like Sean's push for trees, the city is more likely to bend the rules when neighbors may care for their own canopy cover. A November pilot program will do just that, lining 2 blocks of Soma neighborhoods with new trees. But Sean's looking even further, pushing for a tree equity ordinance that promises every neighborhood gets its fair share of green.
We don't believe this is a political issue. We believe this is a public health issue.
In Soma, neighbors say this fight is about breathing easier and putting down roots for the future.
Meantime, the city plans to plant 3,500 new trees in low canopy neighborhoods, including Bayview Hunters Point, the Tenderloin, and the Mission. San Francisco-based OpenAI just signed a $38 billion deal with Amazon. A deal allows the AI company to run its artificial intelligence systems on Amazon's data centers. It'll power those AI tools using hundreds of thousands of NVIDIA chips. This marks OpenAI's first major move away from Microsoft and a clear signal that it's expanding its cloud partnerships. A Silicon Valley startup is redefining meals on the go. Check this out. They've created a robotic kitchen inside a Korean barbecue food truck. The technology made its debut at San Francisco's Tech Crunch conference last week. Inside is an AI-powered robot called an Auto Wok. It grabs ingredients, throws it into a canister where it cooks Korean stir-fry dishes. The robot does all this while the food truck drives to the customer.
So the value the truck is able to provide is a freshly cooked food, which is obviously more tasty, better quality food because it's freshly cooked.
The Robo Kitchen also cleans itself. The company wants to eventually team up with an autonomous vehicle company. Coming up here on CBS News Bay Area, the Cal Bears are playing overseas, but how's their French? We'll see how our Vern Glenn helped them prepare for Paris.
We have a storm system that's pushing in as early as Tuesday night. That's going to change the forecast significantly. We're going to see strong winds forecasted anywhere up to around 55 miles per hour as this cold front pushes in from the north. It's going to bring in a huge amount of clouds, rain, and thunderstorm activity too. About a 15 to 20% chance right now issued by the National Weather Service. But this happens in the early morning hours on Wednesday. This pushes in from the north to the south, bringing in anywhere up to around a half an inch of rain for our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley. Even more impressive rainfall totals for our friends all the way up into the North Bay. Notice how that starts to clear up as we head into Wednesday evening, though. So that's what we're keeping a close eye on. Now let's head all the way down to Monterey real quick. I want to show you some other things going on for us today and tomorrow. Our daytime highs are staying pretty mild down here. We're talking about 60s anywhere from Salinas over into Monterey, 60s up into Santa Cruz. I'm going to drop that map and show you the next 7 days because what we have on tap for us, it's a little taste of everything. We're talking about 60s all week long for our friends along the bay, but from today into our forecast Wednesday, it's going to look a lot different. Strong winds moving in late Tuesday night, rain rolling in Wednesday early morning, and then it starts to taper off into Wednesday afternoon, clearing us up nicely as we head into this weekend. Still with cloudy skies on tap, a little bit warmer weather as we head into Saturday right around the corner. Back to you.
Well, the city of love and light might be the city of layups, at least for Cal basketball. The Lady Bears are in Paris for their season opener tonight. Our Vern Glenn caught up with some of the players before their trip for a little French trivia.
Have you been to Paris before?
No, I've never been. It's my first time. My first year at South Carolina, our first game tipped off in the same tournament in Paris, France.
Well, to get you in the mood, I've devised just a few questions, just kind of get you, kind of help you get locked in. Okay? All right, so here we go. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, true or false? Oh, gosh, okay. French fries are from France.
False. False.
Very good. They came from Belgium. Okay. All right, now, I'm 5'3" on a good day. Okay. So, that said, who is taller, me or the famous French general and emperor Napoleon? Couple of short guys.
Napoleon? You.
I'd like to say that, but Napoleon, unfortunately, he was 5'6".
Oh, wow.
Repeat after me. Ready? Okay, wait. C'est, ce, que, nous, faisons. You know what that means?
No.
This is what we do!
Oh, wow. Wait, what is it? One more time?
Okay, so it's c'est ce que nous faisons.
C'est ce que nous faisons.
C'est ce que nous faisons. Right, she's practically Parisian. Very good. All right.
Well, the Cal Bears take on number 19 Vanderbilt at Adidas Arena today. This is the 5th all-time meeting between the programs. Thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ann Makovic, and we're going to be right back with your first alert forecast and another look at your top stories.